So we're here with Jody Brothers, head of the Epson Tour. Jody, we're at the Indian Wells Golf Resort. It's a fitting host, isn't it, for the Epson Tour Championship? What makes it so important to be here?
So, I mean, primarily when I took this job a couple years ago, Epson said we're historically playing at LPGA International in Florida, tough time of the year with the weather and things like that. They said, look, our North American operation is based in Southern California. We would love it if you could bring the Tour Championship a little bit closer to home. Our name's on the event, and so we went out immediately and started looking for venues. Through our partnership with Troon, they said, "Hey, Indian Wells Golf Resort would be a fitting golf course for it." But we also think we can go a little bit better, and we can get the city of Indian Wells engaged. So I think what's made this such a great transition for us is it's a quality golf course. Golf course is outstanding. You've got an engaged golf community. I mean, this is a golf destination, and so you've got a lot of fans that live in this area that are excited about professional golf. And you know, we as an LPGA, we used to play here a few years ago. We've not been back, and this is our first time back. So we've had a really warm reception, and the city of Indian Wells has really put a lot of support behind the event to make sure that we had the resources to make this a world-class event, which is what we want our Tour Championship to be. So it's been a great partnership all around. And
you got to play in the Pro-Am yesterday, so you get a unique perspective of the golf course. Yeah, what should we expect? What are the challenges out here this week for the players and the athletes?
Yeah, so from my perspective as being an average golfer, you know, you've got some space off the fairways, so I don't think that there's going to be a lot of big numbers out here. The golf course is in immaculate condition for being the time of the year that it is. It's in exceptional shape. The green complexes is where there's some trouble, and I think if you short side yourself out here, you're going to make bogey. But I think there'll be a lot of birdies out there as well, because it's a pretty scoreable golf course if the wind stays down and the weather stays very reasonable. So I expect to see some fireworks throughout the weekend, and probably a reasonably low winning number. And I think it's a very fair golf course. It doesn't really favor somebody that's a long hitter or somebody that's a straight hitter. It really is going to test all aspects of the game. So that's what I think makes it such a good property for our culminating event.
And going back to the Pro-Am, what strikes me is the level of player engagement from the dinner the day before to the actual Pro-Am to after the Pro-Am. Yeah. How important are those Pro-Ams to the Epson Tour?
Well, I mean, it is, for us, it is the meat of the week. I tell our athletes, you get paid on, you get your paycheck on Wednesday and you get to cash it on Sunday. Because the Pro-Am experience is critical to our success as the Epson Tour. And I think what separates our experience from other tours is, you know, we all play from the same set of tees. We play a format that really is conducive for a lot of pro and amateur interaction. And we all ride in carts together. We're not separated by caddy and player versus the amateurs. Our athletes are required to come to the Pro-Am party, and we ask them to stick around in the post-event activities as well. And I think our athletes really understand that they need to fight hard for that relationship with the amateur, because that's a big economic driver to the success of these events. So they're bought in 100%, the staff's bought in 100%, and I think the sponsors are really enjoy the Pro-Am experience. Every time I play in one of these, I get pulled aside by somebody that says, "Hey, I've played in a bunch of Pro-Ams. This was by far the best experience because of the engagement that they got between the pro and the amateur and their clients that they bought the Pro-Am team to entertain. It was just a world-class experience." And so we put a lot of energy and thought into it, from the party to the playing experience.
So it's Tour Championship week. It all comes down to this last week. What are the athletes playing for? In addition, obviously, to LPGA Tour cards, what else is it that's on the line this week?
Yeah, there's a lot of storylines, which is what I love about this time of the year. We are on a point system, and this is the first year we've gone to points, and I think we have been pleasantly surprised at the way that the points have ranked out, that there's just a ton of different things that could happen throughout the course of this week. First of all, the points are elevated for the Tour Championship, so there's a lot of movement that could happen, but I'll just break down a couple of scenarios. If you finish in the top 80, you've secured your playing privileges on the Epson Tour for next year. So that's a really important threshold because it allows a player to pick their schedule for the following season. They really know that they're going to be in every event, so they don't have to worry about, setting travel plans and things like that. They can know where they're going to go, and they can set their schedule accordingly. Top 35 is a really important number because if you make the top 35, you get to go straight to the final stage of Q Series. And qualifying school is the second path to the LPGA, and there's cards available there as well. And that's a huge advantage to be able to go straight to qualifying series. And Epson pays for it as well. If you finish 11 to 35, they're going to foot the bill for that because they're so committed to the development of our athletes. And then, of course, you have the big one, which is top 10 having that really prime LPGA status for the next season. And then 11 through 15 also getting tour cards in a category that's maybe a few stages removed from 1 through 10. But needless to say, 15 athletes are going to walk across the stage on Sunday afternoon and say they are now an LPGA member, and that's a really special moment for them.
And you talk about the commitment from Epson for the Epson Tour. As you see the tour evolve, where do you see the tour going, in the near future?
Yeah, so, we work on schedule, we work on sponsorship, and growth is really the mantra right now. We want to continue to evolve the schedule so that the athletes can drive them if they want to. We have this, what we call our pod system, where you can fly into one location, play 2 or 3 or 4 golf tournaments, and then fly to the next location. So we try to keep travel costs down. I look at a dollar saved represents everybody in the field. A dollar earned only benefits those who make the cut. So I'm equally as focused on expenses as I have on driving revenues for the athletes. Of course, I'll continue to work with sponsors to keep growing our purses and evolving what these athletes are playing for. I think the amount of events that we play, 20 to 22 events a season, is the appropriate number to identify who is the next class for the LPGA Tour. We don't need to play 30 events to figure that out. After 18 or 20, you've probably got it figured out. But I think that's where I see it short term, is continuing to evolve the schedule, continue to work with sponsors to increase purses. Better quality golf courses. As we find new venues, we want to make sure that they're, top quality facilities, and private clubs are great because the membership really gets engaged and they see the benefit of the athletes coming there. But overall, it's a lot of different things, but small incremental change each year over time is going to add to a really special tour for these athletes.
Well, Jody, the tour seems to be in really healthy shape. I think it's one of those tours that, I think the more eyes get on it, the more the appreciation is for the quality of play, the incredible aptitude and skill of the athletes. And I can't wait to see how it develops from year to year.
Well, appreciate you being here, because content is how we're going to get the word out. And we've got a really talented content team that, uses social media as our biggest megaphone, because we're not televised. But athletes or fans can follow our athletes through social and through some, our docu-series called Dream Chasing. And next season, we're going to be doing weekly recap shows. So I encourage people who see this to follow us, because there's a lot more really good stuff coming next year.
Exactly. Well, we can't wait to see it. Jody,
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.